Hey guys, Map Guy here, doing 1 year in review of the Blue Iris Securities and webcam software, known as Blue Iris to everybody. But so first I'm going to drop you on their main website, blueirissoftware.com. And so Blue Iris is a video security software. So say if you have security cameras at your house, and you want to, like, say you have different brands, Amcrest, D-Link, etc., and you want to all link them together into one software you want to run so you can easily accessible for your mobile app, web page, Android, iPhone, whatever. This will do it. You need your PC running for this for the webcams, or not the webcams, but for the if you want to access it by its mobile app or its web page, your PC needs to be on that's running the software. So normally you'll have your PC on 24/7 so it can record and everything. But right here, full version $69.95, supports up to 64 cameras. It's a great deal for that price because their motion detection and everything is very, very good. You can see mobile access. You can pretty much do everything. They have an Android and iPhone app. You have you can overlay current date and time, also weather information. You can record audio. You can do other things. There's also a web server involved, like I said, so you can open a web browser and go to your public IP address at whatever port you put in. Typically 81, or depending on if you change it, and then you can access all your cameras and see. I'm using version 4. Version 5 just came out, so if you buy it, you'll get version 5 automatically. I just haven't purchased it yet. So I'll show you version 4. Minimum requirements. These are like if you have one camera. I have an i5 with 8 gigs of RAM and Windows 10 64-bit, or Windows 10 Pro. That's why I have 64-bit. I recommend that unless I recommend 16 gigs unless you're just using this you're not using this PC at all. So if you're never going to touch it, never going Windows on this PC, you can, I guess, use 8. But 16 is great because Blue Iris uses a ton of RAM, and I also suggest one or more hard drives and an SSD drive, and I'll explain that a little later. And then here's support if you want to pay for that, for support through them. You don't have to. Software's pretty easy. Here's some things, but we're going to go right into the software. So I have everything disabled because for security reasons, but here's the main software page. And what I'm going to start off in options. So here you can see I'm using release 4.8.6.3, which is Blue Iris 4. You can see license key and all this other things that will be blurred out for, again, security reasons. But we'll start at clips and archiving. So this is pretty much whenever it records a clip with motion detection. If you turn motion detection on, so first it goes into my new folder, which is the SSD, because when you have it on your phone and say, they're already going to be using a mobile connection, unless they're using Wi-Fi, which is even better. But say they're using a mobile connection and you log into the Blue Iris app and you want to view one of your recordings, a hard drive is going to take a long time, and if they're using a mobile connection, that's going to be delayed. So it would be a very long time for that hard drive to spin up and then actually play the video, and it'll be kind of choppy. It depends on the hard drive, but SSD works way better. And it's nice, say if you have a small SSD, that's fine. You can limit the size. I have it to 10 gigs or 7 days, and then I'll move over to my hard drive, and then it will stay there for up to 14 days and 20 gigs. You can change this how you like, but after, like, somebody sees the recording, says okay, they can delete it, save it, whatever they want to do. And then so if it doesn't go, if it doesn't go, if it gets watched and nobody just does anything with it, it'll automatically go into the hard drive. If somebody needs to look back at it, they can. It's just going to be a little slower, which is fine. But after 14 days, it deletes, or 20 gigs, it goes automatically to delete, so you can get more files back in, because the more the files, the more gigabytes of storage it takes, and if you want to keep mass amounts of like months of data, you want to have a big hard drive, so maybe 2-3 terabytes just for Blue Iris. It's up to you. It depends on your camera. The higher the resolution, the more the storage, unless you have H.265, which I do, but it doesn't work that well on Blue Iris. Maybe they fixed it in 5, I don't know. But next we'll go over to users, and as you can see, there'll be you can set up your users and passwords, very secure passwords preferably. You can see web servers where you use your port. If you're outside internet, you want to go through your remote access wizard and set up port forwarding and everything. Startup is pretty much how Blue Iris starts up. Nothing to see really here. Other is pretty much how much there's CPU, disable recording, and all other settings. Cameras, here is where you can set up, so this, when you ever get it, enable this limit live preview rate. Doesn't affect recording to like 5 frames, because so when you open the application, say if you're looking at the monitor, it'll limit it to 5 frames, but it doesn't affect recording. It doesn't affect the people that are viewing on mobile apps or web pages. It's just great for you because it lowers CPU usage, because it does take a ton of RAM and a ton of CPU. There's other settings here. You can change how Blue Iris you like it. As you can see, we'll go up to schedule, which is pretty much how you schedule when your server is recording or not. You have keyboard shortcuts, email servers. I really don't understand that one. FTP servers, that's where if you want your recordings to go up to a private FTP server, so say if your PC, somebody comes into your house and steals your PC with all your data on it, it'll upload to a FTP server. So you have an off-site backup. Mobile devices are all listed, all your mobile devices that are logged in with Blue Iris with your server. And that's pretty much it for settings. To add a camera, I'll show you. You want to click the plus sign, and then it'll pop up your camera and your cam ID. Full name can be whatever you want. It could be the model number, so say a D-Link DCS 930LB1. Say that's your model number, and then you can have the short name is Garage. I have it where full name is Garage and short name is Garage, so it just literally says driveway instead of driveway, or instead of saying WGCC blah blah in parentheses driveway. You can enable audio and motion detector, so I'll just open that up so we can see. You put in all your IP information, password, and everything, your port. It has a bunch of cameras listed. You're gonna need to play around with this, so like say if I have a Diffueway, or say like I have a D-Link, and then I want to scroll down and see if they have 930L, and I see right here they have 930L, and it automatically puts it in. I put my password as 123456. That's a bad password. You probably, if you have that password, you probably should change it. But as you can see, it put in the audio and video information. You just put your port as like 192.168.166 or something. You gotta figure out what your port is for your camera, but that's something for you to look for. And then here you have all your sections. If you have PTZ, video, audio, trigger, how you want the motion censored, and everything. How many frames you want the camera. It's all dependent on what you want. It's a very robust software, and something, say like I have a bunch of different brands of cameras. I have a D-Link, a Chinese IP camera, a Amcrest, and a bunch of different brands, and they all link together very easily. But you can't have cameras like Ring, Nest. You can have Wisecam now. because they had RTSP, but you need cameras that support RTSP or on-VIF, or they can't be any cloud cameras. So Ring and Nest will not work because all they do is sync up with the cloud. They don't go, you can't locally access them. They only just sync up with the Ring cloud. A camera, so how to tell if it probably supports on-VIF? We can go to like say Amazon, and let's go to let's just search up IP cameras. Just search up. So say let's just see one like Real. Okay, so what you can see, it says free apps in remote view, but what you're looking for is audio function. It should be somewhere in here. Real link cameras do work if you like Real link, but what you're looking for, maybe in specs, it all depends really where it is. But let's say we don't find it. Let's say on-VIF. Just search up on-VIF. Is this camera? This camera is compatible with on-VIF, which is the easiest standard. So really all you have to do on-VIF, I'll show you, add a camera, and then put in the port as like 192.168.1.1, say that, and then click find and inspect, and on-VIF will get all of your port numbers, all your, not your password, but all your ports, all your PTZ if you have it, and everything else. Let me see another camera that is a bad example that doesn't work. Amcrest I know works. Let's see. This. I'm trying to find a camera that I know doesn't work. Oh, I think I found one up here. Sorry, I'm just trying to find one. Y. So, okay, so as you can see, Y Home app, when it starts, it can suggest an app, but when you can always search up like RTSP, and does this one see Y Home cameras do not support RTSP, but you can do it with the Home app. That will not work with Blue Ox. It needs RTSP or on-VIF or HTTP streaming. It really all depends. Let's try another one. So let's show another one that wire-free cameras. I've not seen any that work either, because they can't continuously stream to the to your server. That will bog down their battery or lessen their battery. But you also got to think, you have to have a pretty robust internet connection, or not internet connection, but Wi-Fi connection between your server and the camera, for it to, like, when you start getting a ton of cameras on your Wi-Fi, it will start bogging it down because it's always streaming 24/7, 365. So test out your camera, leave it on for like a day and a half and have it connect. And if you see a ton of disconnects, just get rid of that camera and get another one, because there's way better cameras that have more constant connections. If you can run Ethernet wire, it is way more not responsive, but it's not delayed, and it's not yeah, it's way more reliable. And say if your Wi-Fi goes down, you have to change a password or something happens, it's still going to be connected because it's connected with the physical cable. You always want your server with an Ethernet cable. If you have it on Wi-Fi, it's going to be very bad because your server has to connect all to these cameras, and it's just not good. See, like this Ring stick-up cam, you can see it's very, one, expensive, but two, it's does not work at all. I'll show you another one that works. So Amcrest outdoor camera. You can also get Wi-Fi ones from there. I'm not sponsored by Amcrest, but they have really good, reliable cameras. You can get Wi-Fi ones, or you can get wired ones. I recommend the wired ones, but if you can't run a wire, like some places you just can't, you can get their Wi-Fi ones. Here's like a dome one, which looks cool. You can see this 4K resolution. You'll never get that with a Ring, and it looks spectacular. It looks great. It's very good picture quality. Everything's clear. So that's pretty much a 1-year review. I personally really like Blue software. It's if you only have one brand of camera and so you're just using their app, don't get it, because unless you want to start using different brands of cameras and all link them up together, that's a good solution. But yeah, so that's Blue Security software 1-year review, and thank you guys for watching. Hope you have a great day. Like and subscribe.